Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well. Out here at one of my favorite spots in the winter, actually out at Keystone today, kind of near the Peru parking lot. Uh, this river is usually a really light, clear blue color. It's a little bit higher than I thought it'd be, so I hope that the background noise from the river isn't too loud and you guys can hear me okay. But per usual on the Monday live stream, just gonna try to answer as many questions as I can. If you got any snowboard questions, snowboard gear questions, go ahead, start dropping those comments. I'm gonna try to get to all of them if I can. If you have a really important question and you wanna make sure that it gets answered, you can always do a super chat. It'll highlight your question to make sure I see it, and it's also a great way to help support the channel. Had a few new videos go out this week as well. So I hope you guys have been keeping up with the new videos on the channel. Just dropped the Slush Lasher video last night. And still got a video on the Capita Ultra Fear, as well as a Arapahoe Basin closing day video coming. So I'm pretty excited to share that one with you guys. I actually filmed it yesterday. There was a ton of people out there, way more people than I thought there were going to be. It's the busiest I've seen a basin in quite a while, and lots of costumes. The pond skim was massive. It was like a lake. Ran into Jonathan Buckhouse, did the pond skim a bunch, got some good crashes on film, so that's all coming for you guys. And also just dropped the board archive stickers. I saw a bunch of comments on the latest couple of videos, so if any of you guys are interested in checking those out, I have them linked down in the description. And we still have a few of the white hoodies left. The last extra large actually just sold out last night, but we still have sizes extra small through large. So if you guys are interested in grabbing a hoodie, really great weight, not too hot. For like spring, summertime. So I hope you guys check that out. Other than that, yeah, just let us know where in the world you're joining us from. I've already seen a bunch of comments come through with you guys letting me know where you're at. So always enjoy hearing where everyone's coming from. And I will jump into the questions. I may hang out kind of closer to the bottom instead of going through each question from the top today. So if I miss your question, feel free to comment a couple of times to make sure I see it. Don't spam, but you can definitely ask it a few times. Yeah, so let's see what's going on, guys. We got Charles Lewis, Moses Lay. What's going on, guys? Bug for Fun from France. Bad Riders, what's going on, man? How much do you want for the Ultra Fear? Oh man, I wish I could sell it to you. That's actually next year's Ultra Fear. So I'm gonna be sending that one back to Capita. So I can't give it to you, unfortunately, man. It's a lot of fun though. I definitely have had some good times on it. Got Justin Vasey from LA. What's up, man? Good to see you on here, regular every week. Yeah, that that live stream last week, there was some trolls on here, so hopefully not that intense trolling today. It's to be expected, but let's try to keep it to snowboarding and not give out any personal information of anybody if we can. Paulo, what's up? Martin Walgren, how's it going, man? Dylan Bradshaw from Melbourne, what's going on, man? We're actually looking into coordinating our trip to Australia and New Zealand right now, so we might actually be passing through Melbourne. Don't have it quite dialed in yet, but figuring it out. In Motion SLB, we got Yannick and Narav on here. What's up, guys? Sista JJ, how's it going, Jess? Thai USA Winter Sports, Adam Doyle, what's going on, guys? Lucifer Morningstar. You sounded bunged up in the Slush Lasher video. Yeah, man, so it's actually, I didn't realize it while I was filming, but it was the goggles like pressing against my nose. I had like a really nasally sounding voice in that video. So I apologize for that. It's kind of embarrassing, but like, what can you do? I'm not gonna refilm it just because of that. Martin Hansen, what's going on? Jackson Talbot, Gilson. Yeah, we could talk about Gilson's. What do you want to know about Gilson? Jason Song 86. Kaiden Miller, what gear do you ride? Obviously, there's a lot of gear that you wear snowboarding. I have most of it linked below if you want to check it out and see the specific gear that I wear. I have most of the main stuff down there. Kevin LePage from Michigan, what's going on, man? Ashley Pamela from North Carolina. Hope you're doing well, TJ. Doing good. It's a great day out here. It's pretty warm. It's like in the 60s today. All right, just kind of scroll down to the bottom just to kind of see how things are going. We got Chris on the live stream. Chris, thanks for being here, dude. Hopefully it's a little more chill this week. Awesome. So ALC Skillers, would you recommend people to longboard in order to practice for snowboarding? I definitely think that if that's something that, you know, is appealing to you and you want to try it out, it's a good way to cross-train for snowboarding. Obviously, it's still going to be pretty different, but it helps to kind of train that balance a little bit. So if that's something that you want to do for fun, I definitely would recommend it. I used to longboard. I got pretty big into it one summer, and I don't really do it too much anymore. All right, Dylan Bradshaw, using the Villain 153 with Flux DS bindings. Looking for another board, is the Huck Knife 55 a good choice? I'm not sure how old your Villain is, but in the current state of the market, the Huck Knife is actually a little bit softer than the Villain. I'd say a little bit more pressable, and obviously it has more rocker in the tips as well, which is a big deal to do with that. So if you want the, more playful, pressable, jibby performance, I would go for the Huck Knife. Otherwise, maybe stick with the Villain, or you could even look at the Assassin. All right, hope that helps you out, man. Kevin LePage, thoughts on the Union Falcor bindings? I haven't got to ride the Falcors yet, but typically if someone is like looking for an alternative to the Burton Genesis, or they're looking for something that's a little bit more rigid than the Union Atlas, I'll point them towards the Falcor. They seem like a really solid binding, super lightweight, super high performance, so I definitely would like to try them out sometime soon. Thank all you guys for being here. I see we got 73 people live right now. For the beginning of June, I am super hyped on that. Thank you guys all for being here. It's great getting to hang out with you guys every week. And thanks for all the great questions we got going on today. All right, Taser FX, my board slash bindings. Oh gosh, the sun just came out. I might have to go in the woods back there here in a minute. My board slash bindings use the channel system, but had issues yesterday with the binding sliding further down the channel. Is this a channel issue, or have I set them up wrong? So I definitely have heard that from several people before, with the channel coming loose and kind of changing your stance while you're riding. It's never happened to me personally. So you could try, you know, I would try to use some blue Loctite. I think that would probably help. Get them nice and snug right where you want them with the blue Loctite, and hopefully that they'll stay there all day then. Otherwise, you could always try to use new, fresh hardware. That could be part of the problem as well, depending on how long you've had them. Missy GB from London, how's it going? What is the best hybrid board for women? Oh man, that is a very broad question. GNU comes to mind since all their boards are hybrid, so I really like the Ladies' Choice from GNU if you want to check that one out. You could argue that Battalions are hybrid because they're full camber with 3BT. So if that's something that appeals to you, maybe check out the Battalion Feel Better or the Push-Up. All the Arbor boards pretty much are they're either going to be full rocker or full camber. So yeah, maybe check those out. Ryan Dennis from Fernie, what's up, man? Stick Noise from Ontario, how is it going? And it looks like we got some super chats that came through here. Let me check these out real quick. Paul O with the super chat. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, man. Glad you could hop on today. That 2019 Evil Twin has a red top sheet just big enough for the Board Archive black decal. Sick. Yeah, that'll be perfect for that black and red color scheme they got going on next year. We'll be twinning, man. I'm gonna get the Evil Twin as well, so I'm super hyped. I'll have to match up the sticker as well. We'll probably be in the same spot. Thanks for snagging one. Yeah, if you guys want to check out the stickers, they're linked down below. Alan Santos with a super chat as well. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it, man. From Brazil, living in Canada. Thank you for answering about Delta that last chat. Why don't you work on a video part? Would be nice. Were you talking about the delta between the effective edge and the running length? I don't remember exactly what it was. I think that was it. But either way, happy to answer your question. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the support, guys. All right. Richard Swallock, ride Warpig or ride Helix? Quite different snowboards. I think if I do get either of those next year, I'm going to go for the Twin Pig, just because I prefer that twin performance. I'm going to have a separate powder board, and it's really, really wide, so it's super fun for carving. I'd be mainly using it as like a kind of all-mountain carving snowboard. The Helix is really fun too. It's stiffer than the Warpig. It's not as wide, and it's got the ASIM side cut, so it's more of like an aggressive, jump-oriented freestyle snowboard. So I would say those are the two biggest differences between those, Richard. Hope that helps you out. Both really fun though. Jace Okada, what binding do you think would be best for all-mountain freestyle for the 18-19 season? I would either go with the Union Force or the Union Atlas. Personally, I'm going to be riding the Union Atlas next year. I think I've narrowed it down that those are my favorite bindings right now that I've tried. So I'll be on those next year, but I'll be riding the Forces the rest of this season. Harry S. asking if we've got a trip coming to Australia anytime soon. Yeah, so I mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the stream. We're working on planning all that out right now. Looks like we're going to be starting off in New Zealand, riding Cardrona. So if any of you guys are down there, it'll be like middle of August roundabout when we'll be down there. So hit us up, you know, shoot us a DM on Instagram or something. Kevin's at SnowboardProCamp. I'm at Board Archive. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Or you could also shoot an email with like a subject line that I will catch. So that's tj@boardarchive.com or snowboardprocamp@gmail.com. But yeah, so we'll start there and then do a couple weeks there and a couple weeks in Australia. I can't wait. I've never been to the Southern Hemisphere, so I'm super excited to go explore down there and hopefully meet some of you guys. All right. Looks like I saw another super chat come through here. Oh, maybe not. Sorry, guys. Okay, sick. Here it is. FEA. Why is the little brown alien over the boss? Also, any thoughts on the Twin Pig? I assume you're talking about the graphic on the Battalion Boss snowboard. Not sure exactly what that's all about. I could maybe ask the rep, but I haven't actually seen that graphic yet, so I'll have to check it out. Also, any thoughts on the Twin Pig? Yeah, like I said, that might be one of the potential boards I'm looking at getting next year. I definitely want to get something that's going to be really wide and fun for carving to just have some fun carving groomer days out there. It was something I really enjoyed on the Warpig this year. So I really like the Warpig, so I think just having that that actual twin shape, you know, the Warpig rode pretty much like a true twin, but it just had that short tail and long nose outside the contact points. But the Twin Pig is gonna also look like a twin, so I think I'd probably go for that one. And I guess, you know, for now, until I try it, that's really all I have to say about it. It's gonna be really similar to the Warpig, honestly. At least that's what I'm expecting. And we got Old Man Shredder, Martin Walgren with the Taco Fund. Thank you, Martin. I definitely will make sure to hit up Chipotle later today. I actually had some last night, but I don't mind. I'll go there multiple times a week. It's all good with me. Thank you. Marcus Anderson has got to go. Sorry, man. Thanks for hopping on while you could. Good to see you. Eric Sheffy, thoughts on Rome SDS snowboards? Just picked up the 56 Blackjack at the end of season sale. I haven't ridden a whole lot of Rome snowboards. Honestly, I used to own a Rome Artifact Rocker, one of the softest boards I've ever ridden. I've ridden Artifact Camber recently, and I think I think that's it. I haven't ridden that many Romes, so unfortunately I don't have a whole lot of feedback for you, man. I'm hoping to get in touch with those guys and get some Romes for next season. And we got Conrad 737 asking if I get to keep all the boards and gear that I've reviewed. It must be nice. No, I do not. I do get to keep some of the gear, which is awesome whenever I can work that out, but by far and large, all the gear goes back to the company or the rep. So, you know, it would be nice to keep all the snowboards, but I think a lot of you guys would be calling me out for being biased if I got to keep all of them. So definitely going to try to keep some more this season, just because it's nice to have access to the boards to ride again throughout the season, and you know, continue to fine tune my thoughts on them and just have a wider variety of boards to showcase in the videos for you guys. But as of right now, most all of them go back. Get nautical. Did you ever use your split board this year? No, dude, I didn't. But it's funny you should say that. I actually am planning on taking it out this week. So, you know, yesterday was closing day at Arapahoe Basin, so no more lift access terrain for me without traveling, but I think I'm definitely gonna do some couloir hunting and try to find some leftover remnants out in the hills around here. I think I actually might try to split board down a 14er this week. I had a buddy do that on yesterday, and he said it was pretty good, and you know, conditions are prime right now for that type of stuff. Obviously it's not going to be good snow, it's going to be corn snow and chunky, but I think it would be a lot of fun, so that I might get a video up on that sometime soon as well. Stepsel, did you use the GoPro Fusion in your last video, and any thoughts on it? No, I did not. I hope you guys do check out that Slush Slasher review. There are a couple of 360 video shots in it, but those were filmed with the Insta360 and they actually have a new update called flow stabilization, so maybe I could get some of those shots a little bit more stabilized in the future when I continue to use that camera. But from what I've seen, the GoPro Fusion seems to be significantly better than the Insta360. You know, the Insta360 is convenient. You can really easily get the photos and videos onto your cell phone if you want that for like social media and stuff, because you actually have to plug the device into your phone to edit the video or do anything with it, and then send it to your computer to edit in Premiere, which is kind of a pain. Whereas with the Fusion, I believe you can actually edit it all directly in Premiere or on your computer. And it just seems like the editing software and the stabilization is better on the Fusion. So I haven't used it yet. Sorry to kind of go off on a long tangent on that one question, but those are my thoughts on that, my quick thoughts. Sets, I'm going to Hakuba, Japan in February. What mountains do I really need to try? I definitely would recommend Hakuba Hapo One. I would recommend Tsugaike. Those are the resorts we spent pretty much all of our time at while we were down there. If you have time and the opportunity to, I think Hapo 47, I think is what it was called, would also be really fun if you're into park riding. Oh, just had a bug fly into me. But yeah, I would say those three are really sick. There's a lot of resorts in that valley though, so definitely you know, check out all of them that you can, but Tsugaike and Hapo One were awesome. Definitely check those two out. Oh, FEA, misunderstood your question there. Thanks for clarifying. Well, I haven't ridden the Boss, but my understanding is that the Boss is going to be a bit of a step up in rigidity and stiffness in the flex, which is why I want to stick with the Evil Twin. I think the Evil Twin 154 is like my, you know, a really solid mid flex. Like, it's still pressable, really fun on rails, but stable enough for all the jumping that I want to do. Has that true twin shape, full camber, and you know, I'm going to be using it to continue to progress my jumps is my plan. So I think the Boss is solid. Obviously it's one of their highest end snowboards, but I just haven't tried it yet. But I think it's stiffer, which is the main reason why I'm sticking to the Evil Twin. All right. Dylan Bradshaw going to Hackaba as well in February. Awesome. If you guys haven't booked your tickets yet, I have heard that January is the better time to be in Japan just for snow. You know, if you're going there and you're looking for that Japan powder, you probably want to go in January if you can swing it. All right, Ian the Welshman. Thanks for the great videos. You, Kevin, and Chris inspired me and some friends to try snowboarding in Whistler next year. Awesome, man. Any ideas for best beginner binding on a 2018 Fun Kink? Yeah, man, if you're looking for, so I would say my top recommendation would be the Union Contact. But if you're looking for the best value on a budget, I would check out the Union Flight Pro. I think, you know, brand new, it's 150 bucks. A little bit softer than the Contact, but still a great binding. Stepping up to the Contact, you're gonna get all the little kind of bells and whistles, like the mini disc base plate, that extra foam on the bottom, toolless adjustment, all that stuff. Magnesium buckles. But if you want a good deal, the Flight Pro is what I would point you towards, man. I'm gonna take a second and I'm just gonna go kind of right back here in these trees real quick, guys. This sun is starting to bother me a little bit. Woo! Awesome. Sweet. Thanks for taking that detour with me, guys. This is actually the same spot where we did the live stream with David Jones that one day this winter, if you guys remember that, when Kevin was in town. Oh, that's so much better on my eyes right now. Get nautical. You guys need to do an Alaska heli trip. Yeah, definitely. We've been talking about maybe going to Alaska. Obviously, it's somewhere that we would love to go. So I think if we do go to Alaska, we have to do heli boarding. So we'll see what happens. Yeti from Washington State. What wax do you use for summer? Have you ever used flux bindings? Can't wait for camp. Is that Tim? But yeah, thanks for the question, man. So for summer, you know, you definitely, if you're going to be buying specific, you know, if you're going to be buying new wax, you definitely want to get like a warm temp or a hot temp wax. You could also do an all temp, but ideally you want to do a warm temperature wax. I usually just kind of use whatever I have laying around. Usually I have an all temp wax laying around. So yeah, that's what I do. And yeah, that summer slush is going to be really rough on the base, ripping that wax out anyway. So you know, if that's a priority for you, you're probably going to want to wax a little more than usual in the summer. But yeah, I'll probably wax every 3 times I board in the summertime and use like a warm temp wax. Sick, yeah, it is, Tim. Awesome, dude. Thanks for snagging a hoodie and some stickers, man. Can't wait to see you back at Hood. All right, Francesco Alexander Colosimo. Opinions, hope I didn't mess that up. Opinions on the T1 Nitro, or if you'll do a review of it. So I did get the chance to ride the Nitro T1 thanks to Rav out at Mount Hood. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video review on it. I didn't get too much footage on it, but I might just do one anyway with what I have. And just put it out there for you guys, just kind of talking about it so it's out there. But yeah, basically I found it was like a pretty solid, like mid flexing, maybe just on the softer side, a medium flexing, you know, true twin, freestyle oriented snowboard, pretty much a full camber board. Reminds me a lot of something like the Lobster Park board, you know, the Battalion Evil Twin even, maybe just a little softer than that. But a pretty solid, like, do anything freestyle snowboard. So, you know, whether you're going for rails or progressing your jumps or just cruising a little bit outside of the park, but with like a freestyle kind of mindset, I think the T1 would definitely serve you really well. It was a fun snowboard. There definitely will be a written review on it if there's no video, but we'll probably do a video as well. Thanks for the question, man. Gemma Spencer, are you and Kevin set on Perisher when you're in Australia, or would you be keen to explore Mount Buller too? We're pretty set on Perisher just because we have unlimited riding there on our pass. Definitely open to maybe exploring other mountains or areas depending on what we can work out. So we'll just have to see as we start organizing that a little bit more fine-tuned, I suppose. Bark Gamer, what's a really good helmet? Personally, I've been rocking the Sandbox Classic 2.0 helmet for years. I really like that helmet, highly recommend it. Really any of the Sandbox helmet I think are gonna serve you well and protect your head and offer some good style and comfort. So check out Sandbox. We just got some wind coming through, guys. I hope it's not too bad. I do have the mic on today, but it's a pretty bad gust right there. John Kennedy, would you recommend the LibTech TRS for an intermediate rider, all mountain / park rider? You know, I don't think the TRS is the greatest freestyle snowboard, just because it does have that really aggressive magnet traction. So, you know, if you're not too, you know, jib focused with it, you just want to maybe dip in the park a little bit, like maybe 20 or 30% of the time you're on that board. Sure, go for it. It's a great all-mountain board. If you're going to be spending a significant amount of time in the park and you're going to want to be progressing your park riding with it, there's probably better options. So, hope that helps you out. Awesome, getting some feedback on the sound. It's awesome how much of a difference this little microphone can make. I'm super stoked I'm able to use it on the live streams now. Marcus Svensson from Sweden, what's up, man? Alan Kinraid from the UK. Yu Yang, saw you yesterday in A Basin. Awesome, man. I had quite a few people come up and say hi yesterday, so I don't know if you may have been one of the people. I don't think you were, though. But if you weren't, you should have said hi, man. It would have been great to meet you. But yeah, that's awesome you made it out. Hope you had a fun closing day. I hung out around the pond skim most of the time there. All right, I'm just scrolling up a little bit here, see if I can find any questions I missed. All right, Kai Healy, thinking of doing a snow season next year. I've surfed and skated my whole life, but never boarded. What board would you suggest for me, as I feel like I would outgrow a beginner snowboard? Yeah, definitely, man. If that's like board sports have been a big part of your life, you probably will take on to snowboarding pretty quickly. So I'd maybe look at something, I mean, personally, I think Battalion would be a good choice, something like the Evil Twin. You could maybe look at the Fun Kink if you wanted something with that 99% twin shape. I like those because they're not too aggressive. They're full camber, so you get that camber feel, but they're not catchy because of the 3BT. My go-to kind of entry-level board is the Arbor Formula, which they are offering in a camber version next year, so that actually could be a good option for you. Maybe the Formula in a camber version instead of rocker. Make it a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, I think those are a good starting point for you. You know, you could maybe even check out something like the GNU Headspace. I think that would be a pretty good option as well. But yeah, I would go for something maybe more camber dominant. The Solomon Huck Knife could also be a good option for you. I don't want to throw too many boards out, so maybe check those out and see if you like any of those guys. All right. So Get Nautical. Did you choose a spring break demo because it matched your gloves? No, I actually bought the gloves completely separate from the board. Didn't have any idea what the board was going to look like. I just got them because they were a good deal. They're actually still going for 30 bucks on Evo. They're linked in the description if you want to check them out. Normally they're like 65, so they're going for a really good deal, so that's why I got them. But they are still a little bit too warm for summer in my opinion, even though they are labeled as a spring mitten. So I'm probably gonna get another pair before I go to Mount Hood. And I picked up a Prototype 2 with Atlas bindings. What are your overall honest thoughts of it? Awesome. I think that the Atlas is going to pair really, really well with the Prototype 2. It's probably my favorite Never Summer snowboard. I really like the Funslinger as well, but I think if I was going to own one personally, it's a tough call. It would be one of those two. But the Prototype 2 is sick. It's just a little bit stiffer than the Funslinger, otherwise very, very similar. And yeah, like I said, I think the Atlas is going to pair really, really well with it. I would say either the Force or the Atlas. Personally, I would go with the Atlas on them. So I think as kind of a all mountain freestyle snowboard, I think that's a really awesome setup, man. I think you're really going to like it. That's a setup that I would own myself. So I don't know if that makes it feel any better, but it's a solid setup. Awesome. And we got another super chat here from Paul O. Thank you, man. With dropping some knowledge on us. So Vail got some more resorts. Okemo in Vermont. Awesome. The only resort I've ever been to in Vermont. Sunapee in New Hampshire. I have no idea if I said that right. Crested Butte in Colorado. I forgot they got Crested Butte. Oh man, we gotta go there, Kevin. I've always wanted to ride Crested Butte. We'll have to go out there for a POW day. And Stevens Pass. And we already have the Epic Pass, or at least I do, for next year. So those are all new potential places. So if any of you guys are out there, maybe we'll be seeing you next season. That's exciting, man. It's been so awesome being able to like travel to new places and like check out new terrain and new resorts and even check out the new cultures and stuff like in Europe and Japan. But really just from a snowboard perspective, being able to ride all the different varying terrain has been awesome. So, oh, and another super chat just popped up here from Fashion Victim. Shout out, dude. Thank you. Hey TJ, any tips for bailing out without slamming when you lose your balance on a rail? I get nervous about committing, losing my balance and falling. Okay, good question. So I would say the biggest thing you can do to avoid those really nasty falls where you end up like going sideways and like landing on your stomach on the rail, like tacoing the rail, as it's sometimes referred to, or like really anything like that, basically where you're not landing back on your snowboard even if you do fall, comes from basically not keeping your weight over your snowboard. I don't want to oversimplify it, but if you focus on when you jump onto the rail, rather than kind of jumping into it and letting your board get, and letting your weight get sideways with the board as you lock onto the rail, try to keep your weight vertical. So that way, even if you misjudge your trajectory getting onto the rail feature, you're just going to slide off one side or slide back off the side that you came on. You're not going to completely slip out and like land on your back on the rail. So that's probably the biggest thing that I think would help. Otherwise, if you do happen to lose control, sometimes it happens, whether you're on a jump or on a rail, the best thing you can do to try to minimize impact and injury is to get the snowboard on the snow. Even if you just hit the snowboard just a split second before your body hits the snow, it actually makes quite a bit of a difference on the overall impact. So I hope that helps you out. But I think as far as rails go, keeping your weight up over top of it so you're not slipping out like that, or you're minimizing that risk of slipping out, is probably the best thing you can do. All right, Sister JJ, I switched my Atlas between my all mountain board and my Funslinger. I'm getting too lazy to switch all the time, so what binding would you recommend for playing on the mountain? Yeah, I mean, I think, if you're looking for that all mountain freestyle, the Force or the Atlas, maybe if you're liking the Atlas on the Funslinger and you want something more aggressive for your other board, you could check out the Falcor. Otherwise, you could get another pair of Atlases. That's probably what I would end up doing. I might get the Falcor though. Or you could try a force. It's that bit of a lower price point, and run the forces on the Funslinger and keep the Atlases on your other snowboard. But those would be the bindings I'd be looking at. It wouldn't be a terrible thing, to have 2 pairs of Atlases, like no judgment. All right, Untangible. Hey TJ, thanks for making the video on the Outsiders. Still can't decide between that or the DOA. Which one would you recommend for someone who wants to ride park next season and progress? I would go for the DOA, man. They're very similar. The Outsiders, I think, is just a little bit stiffer. So the DOA is going to be a little bit easier to control, be a little bit more versatile when it comes to rails and getting those more technical rail tricks. But they're going to be pretty similar performance overall, unless you're really pushing the limits of the DOA and finding those limits and feeling like you just don't have the support and the stability that you want, which it can dish out a lot. So I feel like most people aren't really going to need it. Then I would go for the DOA. Unless you just prefer that stiffer, more aggressive feel, then obviously go for the Outsiders. Stick noise, what small size bindings would pair well with the DOA? I would use the Union Force or the Union Atlas. LTR, hey TJ, Malavitas or Cartels? All mountain but would like to get into park as well. And Union Force as well maybe. So if you're pairing with a Burton snowboard, you could definitely go. I would potentially recommend going with the Malavita or Cartel EST system, so you get that full adjustability in every direction, but then you're locked down to using those bindings only on Burton snowboards. Otherwise, if you're going to be putting those Malavitas or Cartels on a non-Burton board or a non-channel board, I would go with the Union. So I would say the Force is going to be pretty similar to the Cartel, and the Atlas is going to be pretty similar to the Malavita. Personally, I prefer the Malavitas on the Burton line, just because you get the heel hammock. They're really, really comfortable binding. They're a solid binding, great performance, great comfort. So I would either go for the Malavitas or the Force or Atlas would be my 2 cents. And Justin Vasey with the super chat, hashtag Chipotle fun. Thank you, man. I'll go snag a veggie. I'm actually, right after this, I'm gonna go on a bike ride, and then maybe I'll snag some Chipotle on the way home. And he also asked Patreon later. So I think I forgot to bring that up at the beginning of the video. If you guys want to check out Patreon, it's another great way to help to support Board Archive and Snowboard Pro Camp. My Patreon page is linked below. It is patreon.com/board archive. Check out Kevin's as well. His is patreon.com/snowboard pro camp. Normally I do a live stream, or previously in the past, I've regularly done live streams on there immediately after this one. I'm going to switch it up this week, and I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow morning. I'm thinking about 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Patreon tomorrow morning. If you guys would like to join me there, I think that's just a little bit earlier in the evening for some of the international people that hop on there. So we'll do that for about 30 minutes tomorrow morning. If you guys want to join me there, I'll also do a post on the Patreon just to remind everybody. And I did actually post a fresh piece of content on there today for you guys, showing you around the We Are Camp campus, which is where High Cascade and Wendell's is going to be based out of this year at the old Wendell's campus. Both camps are just all going to be down there now. So if you want to kind of have a little bit more perspective on their indoor facility, the size of everything, and how it's all laid out, I have a quick video. I think it's actually like 8 minutes, so it does a pretty good job showing you guys around the entire campus if you guys want to check that out. And we'll do the live stream tomorrow morning. So I hope to see some new faces over there. It'd be great to see you guys on Patreon as well. Thanks for the question, Justin. I know you're in Cali, so that 11 a.m. might actually not work out for you, but next week I'll go back to right after this. I just want to switch it up a little bit more. And sometimes it's kind of rough doing an hour and a half of live streaming all in a row. And I have my heart set on a bike ride. I actually have my bike just right over there. So that's what's going down today. That's how we're going to do it this week. Omar Ross, Bigo from Colorado, or Big O. Saw you in A Basin. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'd always love running into you guys. If any of you guys see, you know, Kevin or I or Chris or anyone on SPC out, definitely come say hi. We love to meet you, chat with you, grab a photo if you want, anything like that. Maybe even hopefully get a lap in depending on where we run into you. So yeah, no pressure. Come say hi. Mr. Martin, hey TJ, I ride a DOA and wondering if I should go stiffer for better control on big jumps and rail tricks. David Jones rides a Capita Supernova and he manages to do a lot with that stiffer board. Yeah, I feel like if you feel like you've reached the limits of the DOA and you're just not comfortable on those bigger features support-wise, like you feel like squirrely when you're landing, like if you lean back, the board's gonna kind of flex out and not support you, and you're probably gonna fall because the board can't support you, then maybe step up to something like the Outsiders or something a little stiffer. The Supernova is quite stiff. It's also directional, so I think it's directional. I haven't actually ridden that one, but if you've noticed, I think David does have a bit of a tough time getting presses on that board, which is natural because it is a stiff, aggressive snowboard. So it depends. It's a trade-off, you know. Personally, I would say if you do want to step up stiffness, go for the Outsiders. Then you're still maintaining that true twin freestyle performance because it sounds like that's your goal. But also from what you said, I think. Ooh, excuse me. But also from what you said, I think the DOA should be plenty. So that would be my thoughts on that. Roman from Poland. What's up, Roman? Jack Wu, are you keeping your War Pig around for next year? No, I am not. The War Pig is already gone. Not going to be on the War Pig next year, but potentially the Twin Pig. We'll see. The Twin Pig, and you guys actually put the Yes 2020 on my radar, so that could be an option as well. The Battalion Magic Carpet could be an option, but I really like the War Pig because it's so wide, or the Twin Pig. So I definitely am going to have one kind of oversized width snowboard next year. Carrie Pierce, what's going on, Carrie? Good to see ya. Driving to work when the Patreon live stream is on. Yeah, so hopefully that time works better for you. Definitely would be stoked to hang out for a little while. Justin saying he's gonna make it work. All right, so 11 a.m. Patreon, we'll make it work. Sick. All right, go back down to the bottom here, guys. All right, Evan Carter, what do you think about the Burton Blunt, wide 2017 and the Mission EST bindings? Yeah, I actually don't know too much about the Burton Blunt. I'm sorry, man. I wish I had some better info for you, but I like where your head's at pairing the Burton with the EST bindings. I think that's a good move, but I can't speak on that snowboard, man. I'm sorry. LTR, I have an Eversummer Prototype 2, so you'd recommend the Union Force then? I think the Force or the Atlas. If it was me, I would run the Atlas on that board. I just prefer that little bit more fine-tuned control that you get with that stiffer binding. But the Force, you know, if you're looking to save a few dollars, the Force I think comes in like $60 or $70 cheaper, and it's pretty comparable performance. The Force is still going to be do really well on there. So I think either of those are going to do good for you. And a super chat from Chris Taylor. Thank you, Chris. Hey TJ, I have a Solomon Ultimate ride, but find it a bit stiff. Would the Assassin or Pro be better for me? I'm in the intermediate stages of riding. I'm not sure what the Pro is. If you can elaborate on that, I'll keep an eye out in the comments, Chris. But if you're finding the Ultimate ride a bit stiff, I wouldn't recommend getting on an Assassin. I would maybe look at the Villain. I'd look at the Villain or the Huck Knife if you want to go even more jibby. So if you want to stick with Salomon, definitely check out the Huck Knife and the Villain. The Lobster Park board could be a good alternative for you as well. You could look at the Battalion Global Warmer or the Fun Kink as some other options. The Arbor Westmark is going to be pretty similar, so that one might be too stiff. You could look at the Arbor Formula Camber. It's a great deal and would be a good bit softer for you, so I think all those could be good options. Emile Montcalm, hey man, from Quebec, and where are you? So I am in Keystone, Colorado currently, at one of my favorite spots to do some audio talking as well as the live streams here in the winter. And yeah, I'll be in Colorado for the whole summer other than the couple of trips we got planned. Or really the one trip to Hood in a couple of weeks. All right, Jamie Mottram, what are your thoughts on the Villain for a jib board? And yo, for Manchester, UK, we all ride fridges out here. Yeah, I think the Villain is more of like a do-it-all style freestyle board, so it's still going to be fun on jibs, but it's not going to be as pressable as the Huck Knife. The Huck Knife just has more rocker in the tips and it's a little bit softer. You can get more leverage for presses and things. So I would recommend that one if you're going to be riding a fridge most of the time, focusing on jibs. I'm sure the jumps probably don't get too crazy big in there either. You know, probably not more than 20 or 30 feet. So I think the Huck Knife would be totally fine. I'd probably put you on that over the Villain. George Moreno, when is a good time to buy a new board for the upcoming season? Honestly, as far as like, there's lots of great sales going on right now. Pretty much all the snowboard outerwear, boots, bindings, and snowboards are marked down currently on all the websites. So, you know, start browsing, check it out, see if you can find anything. The big thing is like it's already kind of late because of sizing availability is going to be way more limited. So you could find a great board at a great price that you really love, and it just might not be available in your size. So really, I think more like April and March is a better time. If you look out for some of the sales that happened back then, there's just a better chance to find that item on sale and in your size. Otherwise, you know, between now and October and Black Friday really are going to be the best deals. But to get something really specific, you might be looking at just paying full price at the beginning of the season, unfortunately. All right. Balake J. Quellen. Hi TJ, going from a relatively flat board to the T-Rice Pro, going to be a difficult adjustment. Hello from Ohio. I don't think it's going to be too bad, man. So the T-Rice Pro is rocker dominant, so it's actually going to have a bit of a looser, even looser feel than your flat board. It is stiffer, probably. I'm not sure what board you were on. So it's going to be stable, but you know, you'll really be able to feel what I mean by you have to rock to the end of the rocker profile before you start to feel that aggressiveness come out of the board. So yeah, I don't think you'll have any issues, man. The T-Rice Pro is a great snowboard, good kind of all mountain board, and can still be a lot of fun for freestyle, like more natural freestyle features, and you can definitely take it in the park as well if you want. Evan Carter, yeah, shoot me a DM on Instagram if any of you guys aren't following me there yet. It's at Board Archive. I post all the time, keep the stories going to show you guys behind the scenes. It's probably the quickest way to get a direct answer from me as well. Red's Cap just saying thanks. Thanks for being here, man. Yeah, I'm just trying to get as much content as I can out for you guys, just trying to provide that value as often as possible. Jap Meat Kang, does stiffness in a board matter? I have a board that's an 8 stiffness. Yeah, definitely the stiffness has a huge impact on the overall performance of the board and what you can do with it and will have trouble doing with it. So a stiffer board is going to be better suited for like high speeds, carving, bigger drops, technical lines, big jumps, that type of stuff. You know, the style of the board also obviously factors into it, but generally speaking, those are a lot of the things that you'll find. Justin Vasey, peace out, man. Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on while you can, and I will see you on Patreon tomorrow. Adri Afro, have you ever used a very bad snowboard? You know, I haven't used a board that after I've gotten done riding it, I've been like, man, I wish that I just didn't even ride that board. Like, I've had those situations because of conditions, but never because of the actual snowboard. So one of the things that I focus on as I'm doing the board reviews is using the snowboard that I'm on that day to try to do what the board is meant to do. Because obviously, you know, you're gonna have way more fun on a stiff, wide snowboard with like a setback and a taper, a board that's meant for free riding, carving and free riding. If you try to ride that same board in the park, you know, there's no point. You know, why would I rate a board that's meant for free riding on how well it hits like a dub down rail, you know? So with that in mind, I think that I always tend to have fun on the boards just by using them for what they're meant for. So that's kind of part of what's going through my head in the process of all the board reviews. Evan Carter, do you have Instagram? Yes, it's at Board Archive. Kevin's is at SnowboardProCamp. Jack Wu, any tips for keeping rotations evenly level off jumps and avoiding corking? Yeah, it's basically all comes down to getting a level pop and not dipping your shoulders. So as long as your head and shoulders are kind of level on the takeoff in the air, you should stay level. If you start to dip your shoulder in the rotation, that's when you're going to start to get corked out. Michael Roberts, do you set your high backs parallel to your heel edge or square to the rest of your binding? I have rotated my high backs where they're parallel with the heel edge, and I've also just kind of left them how they come standard. I didn't notice a huge difference, honestly, either way. I think it's probably better to have them lined up with the heel edge of the snowboard for more response, for like heel side turns, which is mainly what you want your high backs for. But I don't think it's a huge deal either way. But if you have the time, I would rotate them so they're even with the heel edge. Daniel Thieker, liking the Board Archive playlist on Spotify. Awesome, yeah, I posted that up on the story earlier this week. I'm glad some of you guys caught that. Yeah, if you guys want to know what I'm listening to while I'm riding, or just listening to right now, I'll be switching that up pretty regularly. You can find me on Spotify as well. Raphael, boot size 11 and bindings large. Can I still go with the regular size board? I would absolutely recommend a wide or a mid-wide board. I'd be looking at waist width, which is the key metric you're going to be looking at picking out your board, 26 centimeters or larger. So there are some boards that are just naturally wide. The K287 comes to mind, the Ride War Pig, the Slush Slasher. Those are all naturally wide. But taking like a regular, like a freestyle board like the Huck Knife or something like the Fun Slinger, you're going to want to get a wide board just to try to avoid any heel or toe drag. Absolutely recommend getting a wide board, man. Awesome, guys. Thank you for all the questions here today. Thank you guys all for taking the time to be here. I appreciate all you guys. All right, Jack Wu, what are your thoughts on super high-tech snowboard gear such as color shifting lenses, etc.? Well, as far as the color shifting lenses go, I haven't got to try them yet, but the idea sounds incredible. I think it's a really good idea, especially, you know, I'm the kind of rider that I'm just gonna bring, like when I go on trips, I just bring 2 pairs of goggles. I bring a highlight and a low light. I don't try to switch my lenses out. Obviously, you know, some people are gonna prefer to just bring 2 lenses. I think if you're trying to save space, obviously that's the better way to go. But anyway, so for someone like me, I think that's a really great feature where you just have one goggle that's capable of truly doing it all. And I think that the electronic version where you just push the button and it changes, I think that it actually changes pretty quickly. So I don't think that the delay in the color changing, like I've heard people complain about with the transitions lenses that are already available, I don't think that's really going to be that big of an issue at all. I don't know that the heated one that kind of defogs your lens, I don't know how legit that is, but it sounds pretty cool as well, man. I can't complain on it. Honestly, the thing I'm waiting for, I've been using Bluetooth headphones recently while snowboarding, and I love it. It's game changer. AirPods are awesome. Totally worth the investment, in my opinion, with how much time I spend snowboarding. But for friends that are both wearing Bluetooth headphones, or everyone in the group wearing Bluetooth headphones, as long as you stay within a certain distance from each other, you can all listen to the same music. So someone needs to come up with an app for that. Or if you guys already know of an app that does that, let me know, because that would be really cool. We got Narav on the stream still. What's up, man? Stoked on the Spotify playlist. Glad you're able to jam out to it on the way to work. Yeah, a lot of those songs just are reminding me of that recent trip to Hood, and it's awesome to kind of keep that in your life and think about those good times for sure. Link of Spades got the Burton Flight Attendant and the Genesis EST bindings with help from your reviews. Should I stick with Burton for boots or look elsewhere? With boots, honestly, man, I think if you have the opportunity to go to a local shop and try some boots on, I would try on as many brands as you can, at least 2 or 3 different brands, and hopefully not an entry-level boot. Looking at more like the $250 to $300 plus price range. I think boots is probably the most critical place to not try to save money and not skimp on getting like a cheap boot. It's going to have a huge impact on your time out there on your snowboard. So Burton does make some very comfortable boots. I'm not going to say that they don't. They definitely work for some people. I've been riding 32 the last few years. They work really well for my feet. I'm actually going to be switching back to the TM2 next year. Ride and K2 also make some great boots. Just to throw out some ideas for you, I think the K2 Masis is a good one to check out, or the Darko could be a good option as well. The Ride Lasso or the Ride Trident, the 32 TM3 or Lashed or TM2, all good options. And for Burton, I would probably go for the Imperial. Charles Lewis asking about the Contact Pros. Let me see if I can find your question here. I don't see the original question, but the Contact Pros are basically going to be the same performance as the Union Contact. They're just a little bit lighter, more lightweight than the Contact. Performance is going to be very similar. So that would be really the only thing I think you need to worry about if you're deciding between those two. If you are deciding between those two, I would go for the Contact Pro. Dank Memes. As a beginner snowboarder, what type of board should I get? I would get something that's not too expensive, not too stiff, and is twinish style shape. So either a true twin or a directional twin or an ASIM twin, some type of twin. That way it rides the same in both directions. It's the most versatile style of snowboard. My personal favorite boards to check out are the Arbor Formula. You could go for the Camber or Rocker. I think that's a great, that's like my go-to beginner entry-level snowboard. You could also check out the Battalion Fun Kink. I think that would be a really good one to check out as well. Those would probably be my top options, so check those out, man. And we got Emilian Popov on the stream. I'm sure you've probably been here for a minute, but I just saw your comment here now. Good to see you, Emilian. Hope you're doing well. Hope you get that hoodie arrive soon for you. And yeah, thanks for being here, dude. Just chiming in on the Contact versus Contact Pro topic here. Diego Novella, what do you think is the best binding angle to do butter tricks? I think you're going to want to you know, if you're doing freestyle type stuff, you want to have a symmetrical duck stance. So I ride positive 15 and negative 15, you know, plus 12, negative 12, plus 9, negative 9. All those could be great options. I would just go for a symmetrical twin. Whatever feels good for you and your knees. Eric Kim, does your merch come with free decals or do we need to buy them separately? Great question. So to anyone that is getting any of the last hoodies I have remaining, I plan on throwing some decals in there for you guys for free, just so you guys can have that. I appreciate you guys all out there that have grabbed hoodies so far. For all the other merch, like the hats and the t-shirts and stuff, unfortunately I cannot throw a sticker in there because they are fulfilled out of either California or North Carolina, depending where in the world you're ordering it from. But the good part is that all that merch has way cheaper, more affordable shipping, and it all ships worldwide for a pretty cheap price. Hope that makes up for it. Otherwise, I am offering free shipping worldwide on the stickers, so I hope that you guys check that out. Again, all that's linked below. Check us out on Patreon. Kevin's at patreon.com/SnowboardProCamp. Mine is /board archive. Same, gonna be the same for Instagram. Gonna hop on Patreon, like I said, tomorrow morning, not immediately after the live stream today, but I do have something that I posted today on there for you guys if you want to check that out. And thanks again for you guys for all the great questions, for taking the time to be here, for checking out the website and the merch and all that good stuff. Check out Kevin's live stream coming on Friday, and I'll be back again next Monday to hang out with you guys. So hope to see all you guys soon. Thanks again for being here, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys.